Good morning, everyone. Well, we have another beautiful day here in Boulder, and we're going to have another beautiful service. Something new will be at the second service, and that newness will be me. I will be giving the second service. So, I want to get you all warmed up to it, okay? So I'm going to tell you a joke. This woman is at the zoo, and she sees the zookeeper coming by, and she says to him, "Excuse me, is that hippopotamus a male or female?" And the zookeeper says, "Madam, it seems to me that that information would be of only interest to another hippopotamus." Is there anybody here from another unity? Anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand high if you're here for the first time. We have a gift for you. Put it up real high so the ushers can see you. There you go. All right, get all these people that have their hand up. Oh, yeah. There's another one over here somewhere. I thought I saw a hand. Hand up high. You really want this gift? It's a bag of marijuana. Okay. Well, we have more people coming in. I'm so glad to see that people are showing up, becoming less concerned with the whole idea of the pandemic. I believe we're headed toward phasing it out. I'm so glad. We'll all be glad as we phase out this pandemic. But I'll be speaking to you at the talk about the unity principles that hold us above the concerns of the world. So stick around.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. My name is Mike Shadle. I'm the church administrator here. If you ever have any comments or questions or anything, always bring them to me. I love chatting with people. My office is right in there in the bookstore. I also handle event and space rental of every room in this building, so if you ever want to have a concert here on this stage or use a small classroom downstairs, please give me a call. I'd love to chat with you about how we could set that up. I don't have a lot of announcements today, other than to say thank you for, I'm seeing a lot of masks out there. We are asking everyone to please wear your masks. It is the Boulder mandate. We're just trying to follow the rules. Outside of that, please check the handouts that the ushers are giving, or check out our website to find all of our upcoming events. We've got some men's and women's book groups coming up next month. So please check that all out and come join us for these. We have ongoing NIA classes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 a.m. and on Thursday we have them at noon as well. They're $13 a class. And for those of you who don't know what NIA is, it is basically a workout free flow dance class that happens over here on our dance floor. It's an hour long, $13 for a class, or you can buy a 10 class punch card for $100, save a few dollars that way. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. That's open to men and women of all ages. So, all right, thank you very much. Oh wait, I would like to, it's not you this week, Brandon. You're giving me that look like I'm about to put you on the spot. I'd like to welcome to our stage today's musical guest, Marcy Baruch. We've had her out here a few times, and we'd love to we're happy to welcome you back.
Thank you, Mike. It's good to be here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone? Good. Yeah. This is a song called Refuge, and it's brand new. And I want to thank this guy right here, Mr. Brandon, because he has just been such a joy to work with, and I wanted to feature him today on this tune. So thank you, Brandon. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. To know myself as a refuge, to feel what I need to feel, let my body soften now Receive each breath as new life revealed, to wake each morn in wonder, in thankfulness and praise, to feel the call of purpose and let it permeate my ways. To feel this infinite spaciousness as the heartbeat of the earth, giving forth in wild splendor and pulsing with love as my body of worth, to know myself with the faith of God, to walk in blessed peace, to rest beyond all certainty, taste the freedom of release. This is my prayer. To lose the shame that does not belong, and let dissolve the overwhelm. To pray, Father, Mother, thy kingdom come, for we belong to this greater realm. So even in my anguish, oh, each day of bitterness, I am seeking the one life that matters. My life is Christ through the mess. I will grow my soul, grow my soul, grow my soul through it all. So in this fullness of being, may I stand with all my might and take hold of every sustenance, finding my way through the luminous nights. May we love each other on the journey, as we're cheered on by those who've come before, and behold each face as the face of God that calls us into more and more. The way is opening, the way is opening, the way is opening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I wasn't the singer.
Oh, well, thank you also, the singer, as well. Good morning again, everyone. I noticed there's a larger number of people sitting back, further back now. Why is that? There's nobody down here, you know? Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you very much. I have somebody to talk to now. Well, you know, it's not easy to give the same talk to both services, the 9 a.m. and the 11 a.m. because at the 9 a.m. I have to edit the talk so I don't use any words over 3 syllables. And well, that's because we had both congregations tested a year ago. We had the 9 a.m. service tested and the 11 o'clock service tested. And the 9 a.m. on average tested 40 points below in IQ. So I can only use 2 and 3 syllable words when I do the 9 a.m. But I'm back. I feel comfortable being able to do the talk fully open and free. As it turns out, I was at a coffee shop the other day and I saw 3 teenagers who were in the throes of laughter. So much so that the manager had to ask them to quiet down or they would have to leave. And I thought to myself, when was the last time I laughed like that? I couldn't really recall the last time I had a hearty, gut-splitting laugh. Can you? If you've had a hearty, gut-splitting laugh in the last week, raise your hand. You've all, like a lot of you have had a, okay, but I'm not talking about being under the influence of marijuana. So I guess that eliminates most of you. No, but when you think about it, you know, fun and fun times diminish as we get older. It's not that we purposely phase them out. It's simply that the responsibilities of adult life take up more of our time and attention. And so we can't be out there, you know, hanging out. And that's what we do when we're in our youth. We hang out and we're mostly looking for fun things to do. But again, as we enter our adult life, we have to be more responsible and we can't give it the time or the attention that we did when we were young. But that said, we should know that there's always an up-leveling. In other words, whenever you have to surrender something in life, there's usually something better available. And the same is with fun. Fun and joy are 2 different things. Though most people will use them interchangeably as though they're synonymous. But fun and joy are different. And I want to share with you what Webster says about fun. This is Webster's dictionary, by the way. I'm only giving you, a few words here from the Webster's definition because it's long. It's about 3 paragraphs long. Fun, that which provides amusement, entertainment, playful, often boisterous action or speech. And from a unity perspective, and I've seen this said by, in books by different masters down through the ages, they claim that fun is derived from and in the world, where joy is not. The masters look upon joy as a feeling of well-being, an emotion of divine inspiration and bliss. So joy is derived from something on a higher level of awareness. So when we talk about fun diminishing as we get older, perhaps it's an indication that we should be opening up to this higher level of awareness, which opens us up to joy. And that's something we ought to be cultivating in our experience, is joy. It is understood that there's a certain practice that we do that allows us to free ourselves from the appearance world and the metaphysical and the physical world. And here's a master lady from her book, The Door to Everything. Can we have a look at this? This is Ruby Nelson. on page 21 in her book, The Door to Everything. At the summit of the highest level of human consciousness, there is a door through which you can slip and be free from all the influences you are under in the sub-creation, the manifest world of appearances. That's what her word for the manifest world of appearances is, the sub-creation. At the summit of the highest level of human consciousness, there is a door through which you can slip and be free from all the influences you are under in the sub-creation, the manifest world of appearances. So, on the spiritual level of understanding, fun is something derived from the world, and joy is something derived from spirit. I had an awakening about 6 or 7 years ago. My wife Norma and I were in New York City, and we were just completed a Broadway show. Now, in New York at that time, a lot of the Broadway shows, they would finish up about the same time. And so the crowds of people would pour out into the streets, and that's what was happening at that time. It was people everywhere, and it was cold out. But as we came out of the theater, I thought I noticed a friend of mine who I had known 40 years before, who was playing his violin and then was finishing up, but I didn't have a chance to get to him. But on a whim, I looked him up in the phone book and was able to locate him and call him. And I set up a meeting so we could talk. After all these years, we hadn't been in contact. So we got together, and I can tell you this. When I knew him back then, he was the most self-centered human being I ever hung out with. Even more self-centered than me, possibly, although I was in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most self-centered human being at that time. But we were catching up for about an hour, talking over tea or coffee, and it occurred to me that he had changed radically. And at some point I said, "Did you have like a contact with God or something?" So because you are so different. What it was is he was considerate. I could tell from the conversation. He was considerate, caring. He was even playing his violin for free at nursing homes. So I was just curious. I said, "You're different." I said, "So what made you change the way you are?" And he said, "Well, it dawned on me over time that it's not my party. I'm just one of the many guests at it." What an interesting way to put the whole concept of transformation. It's not my party. I'm only a guest at it. And that bespeaks this truth that we move in awareness when we expand into the consciousness divine. We move from an awareness of me and all about me to an awareness of oneness and what's all about harmony, all about peace, all about true love in relationships. So there's a transformation that takes place on the spiritual journey where this whole concept of me and the all-importance of me and my self-interest, it diminishes. And it's replaced by the universal awareness of the presence of this intelligence and love in every moment, in every place, in every condition, in every relationship. So that's what we're about doing in Unity, and it's something that is so worthwhile that they call joy the most valuable gem in the diadem of humanity. That's in the crown of human experience. the most valuable jewel is joy. And that's what we're entering into as we continue to move into God consciousness. Joy derives from a shift in awareness that is all about me to an awareness of oneness. And that's how A Course in Miracles refers to this. Can we see this next PowerPoint? You can read this in the old Course in Miracles text, page 66, paragraph 2. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. If fear and love cannot coexist, and if it is impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive, the only possible whole state is that of love. There is no difference between love and joy. Therefore, the only possible whole state is the wholly joyous. To heal or to make joyous is therefore the same as to integrate and to make one. I'll take that down again in case there's someone here who's not used to the Course in Miracles language. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. If fear and love cannot coexist, and if it is impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive, the only possible whole state is that of love. There is no difference between love and joy. Therefore, the only possible whole state is the wholly joyous. To heal or to make joyous is therefore the same as to integrate and to make one. There may need some clarification for this final line. To heal or to make joyous is to therefore seem to integrate this concept of that oneness, which means that we enter each moment not as though we are separate from it. We enter each moment with the awareness that the moment is rising with us, not separate and apart from us. There's a tendency for us to think in terms of things happening to us over and over again. And therefore, we have all of this consternation, disappointment, frustration, and conflict because we keep perceiving that the rising conditions and circumstances around us are happening to us. And this is a step across into the enlightened state. Those conditions are not happening to you. They are happening with you. No two people are living in the same world. You are living in a world of perception. The world is filtered through your belief system, what you have come to believe and truly have understood to be so for your life. But that's not necessarily so for anyone else's life. And it may be similar, but they're not exact, because each of us is living in the world of his or her own collection of beliefs. And your beliefs rise with circumstances with you, not separate and apart from you. You can understand how you move from conflict, trepidation, difficulty, and problems in the worldly concept of life to a place of harmony and peace, wisdom and truth, if you're in the divine level of awareness. In the initial state of consciousness, perceiving that things are happening to us, you see, we are always being tossed this way and that way by the rising circumstances, because we react to the circumstances. The circumstances are going according to our personal desires and demands and dictates. We're at peace. We're okay with it. But when they're not going according to our desires, dictates, or demands, we are at odds with circumstances, and we are looking to escape them, and we feel frustrated, and we're not there to be at peace. And so you can see that that state of consciousness will never bring about harmony and peace, People looking for harmony and peace in the world must ultimately turn to their own divine nature at the core of their being. That's what the world actually requires of us if we're ever going to enter that higher level of awareness in which we perceive life from a level of beauty, peace, love, wholeness, joy, and harmony. But when that occurs, what would that connote about our participation in circumstances? It would mean that we have a new priority. We're not just reacting to circumstances that either go our way or don't go our way. We're there to bestow peace. We're there to bring harmony. We're there to reestablish joy and love. So, as we move through the practice of the presence of the reality of our divinity, as we move and expand in that awareness, we become emissaries of divine healing unto ourselves and unto everything and everyone else that we encounter along the path of life. And all I'm asking you to do right now is ask yourself whether you believe that what I just said is true. Just ask yourself and see how close you are to really being involved in the practice of the presence of the divine. Because your answer is going to tell you that. To the degree that you believe that you do not rise separate and apart from circumstances, that you're not separate, to that degree, you are entering into the truth that will make you free. So, it's interesting, though, we should know this, that Jesus, the Master of Masters, and, you know, I'm hoping that eventually you're going to grasp the fact that as we collapse time and space in our experience, so the separation begins to disappear. As we collapse time and space, the Bible writers have already collapsed time and space. When you're reading in the New Testament about Jesus, you are so much better off, and you will be so much more, apprised of the wisdom in those scriptures if you see Jesus as the universal Christ consciousness. And Jesus simply, though he lived and carried on his life, he lived to be a symbol of the universal Christ awareness in each and every person. At the core of every person's being is the divine. Although for too many, it's still dormant. It's not called upon. It's not accessed. But in unity, we're hoping to access that and make this transformation from people that are being tossed to and fro by circumstances and the ego to people who are emissaries of divine healing. That we enter situations with a priority to bring harmony, to bring peace, to restore love, wisdom, and truth. That's what we're here to do. But let me say this. This is how the Master of Masters deals with his disciples. And by the way, we are all, if you're into this unity movement, you are all disciples of the universal Christ. Can we have this next PowerPoint? You can read this in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22, verses 24 to 27. A dispute arose among them, his disciples, which of them was to be regarded as the greatest. And he, the Master, said to them, the kings of the Gentiles, Gentiles means the outer directed, not religious people, exercise lordship over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather let the greatest among you become as the youngest or the least, and the leader as one who serves. For which is the greater, one who sits at the table or one who serves? In the world, is it not considered the one who sits at table? But I am among you as one who serves. Can we take this back again, please? A dispute also arose among the disciples, which of them was to be regarded as the greatest. And the master said to them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and those in authority over them are considered benefactors or great. But not so with you. Rather let the greatest among you become as the least, and the leader as one who serves. For which is the greater, one who sits at the table or one who serves? Is it not considered by the world the one who sits at the table? But I am among you as one who serves. And it's easily understood that this master, with all the powers attributed to him, could have amassed a great physical, materialistic world, and could have been, a king in his own right, in a metaphysical sense. You look at it, you see what's being said here. There is a surrender into the higher dimension of awareness. And what he's saying to his disciples, your concept of what is great is not great at all. The greatest one is the servant of all. As a matter of fact, there's a place in Mark where he says, the greatest among you will be the servant of all. But what is he saying? That concept flies in the face of our Western culture. What do you mean? The servant of all? And automatically we're thinking in terms of being a doormat, people walking over us, pushing us around. That's not the case. That's not what is really being said. What is being said is the servant of all is one who enters the moment as one. The moment rises with that one. And then that servant is able to perceive what the moment actually requires to bring harmony to the conditions, bring peace, restore love, bring healing, even spiritual healing, is to an enlightened person. Because the enlightened person is the servant of all, every moment, any moment. So you don't enter each moment with your self-interest preceding you so that you're attempting to get things to go your way. You're attempting to control conditions and circumstances, and people who are still trying to find happiness by controlling conditions and circumstances in the world so they can garner more pleasure, more aggrandizement, more advantages from the world. People like that will be frustrated, disappointed, and finally be tossed down and broken. Because you are not of the world. That's what Jesus said of his disciples. They are not of the world, as I am not of the world. You can be in the world, but not of the world, but you are not of the world. You are divine in origin. Someday you and I will recognize that fully. That we are divine beings going through a human experience. We're here reflecting upon our thoughts and actions in hopes of enlightening our soul awareness. And that's really what's taking place. Now, stop again. Ask yourself within, do you believe that what I just said to you is true? Because you're going to find yourself in that question. Because we're talking about personal transformation. We're not talking about a distant heaven that we go to after we drop the body. We're talking about personal transformation in the here and now. So that said about his disciples, and this whole concept of oneness, you should know that such instructions do not preclude having fun or preclude personal goals, financial success, or romantic encounters. As long as your priority is being available to serve the moment and the conditions or circumstances that require your attention that may not be part of your personal agenda, but you're being called out to be of service, to restore harmony. You're operating from the whole awareness, the intelligence of life, and not self-interest. If you're capable of doing that, stepping past your self-interest, when the call to bring some help, some healing, some service, some peace, some truth, if you can step away from your self-interest, you are truly on the journey. If you're only sitting in church on Sunday, listening to all this stuff and thinking that Jesus is 2,000 years ago and that somehow or other you might find your way to heaven if you've been good enough. Heaven is in the midst of you. That's where Master of Life said it is. So if there's a difficult job needing you to do it wholeheartedly. If there's a test to be taken, yes, study for it. Give it your attention to acing it. If you increase your financial income, be happy and tithe accordingly to worthwhile causes. And it's amazing how a Zen master can put it all together. And you can find the truth or you can reject it. The Zen master says to all of us, you will come to true life when you learn and are capable of doing just one thing at a time. Try to get in touch with that. When you are capable of doing just one thing at a time. Your head's not off someplace, bemoaning the moment in which you find yourself. You're not longing for this or bemoaning the fact that you did something in the past. You have become totally one with the moment of life, which is where Eckhart Tolle said, every person that's ever going to become a light being will arrive. So, having said that, do just one thing at a time. That's an indication that while you're having sex, you shouldn't be thinking about the points made at the Sunday service. Practicing and knowing the joy of God in all things is our calling. When we view life from the perspective of being one with all creation, we are able to feel joy while doing the most difficult job, going the extra mile to help another, taking less than our fair share, and bestowing peace instead. Very simply put, Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet of all time, had this to say. Can we have this next PowerPoint? You can read this on page 117 of a book titled The Edgar Cayce Companion. The gift of God to man is an individual soul that may be one with him, and that may know itself to be one with him, and yet individual in itself, with the attributes of the whole, yet not the whole. That pretty much sums up everything I've said this morning already. The gift of God to mankind is an individual soul that may be one with him, and that may know itself to be one with him, and yet individual in itself, with the attributes of the whole, yet not the whole. That's where we stand, and I think it's said in the Bible, We were created a little lower than the angels because we were given free will, or the choice to decide whether or not we're going to open to the divinity that our soul is seeking, or whether we'll continue to ignore it and go on and live in that limited awareness of the world where we always will have conflict, suffering, fear, and war. If you want out of that, don't see that you're going to possibly get the world to do your bidding. If you want out of that, you have to open up through spiritual practice to the presence of the divine within you and allow it then to live in your consciousness and guide your thoughts and actions. I'm going to sum this up with a course from the Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles text, page 122, this is the old text, paragraph 2. By accepting the at-one-ment for yourself, and that's a word that's used throughout A Course in Miracles, the at-one-ment, accepting our oneness with all life, accepting that each moment rises with me, accepting that everybody in that condition and circumstance around me is by divine in origin. They may not be manifesting that at the time, but you can help them find that by manifesting your own divinity. So by accepting the at-one-ment for yourself, you are deciding against the belief that you can be alone, thus dispelling the idea of separation and affirming your true identification with the whole kingdom as literally part of you. This identification is as beyond doubt as it is beyond belief. Your wholeness has no limits because being is infinity. I'll read that again. By accepting the at-one-ment for yourself, you are deciding against the belief that you can be alone, thus dispelling the idea of separation and affirming your true identification with the whole kingdom as literally part of you. This identification is as beyond doubt as it is beyond belief. Your wholeness has no limits because being is infinity. I sometimes use the affirmation, the joy, peace of just being here. The joy, peace of just being here, awake in the now moment. So I'm going to lead a guided meditation. Take a couple of deep breaths, and as you release your breath, release any of the cares or concerns that you may have brought with you. You can pick them up again if you want after you leave. But right now, just consider the moment in this beautiful, safe space. Right now, you can be absolutely present, just allowing the moment to be what it is. As you practice this in your meditation, allowing the moment to be what it is, you'll soon be able to practice it in the world where you work and carry on your life and your relationships. You'll still be able to practice being present, even though conditions and circumstances may not be exactly perfect to suit your desires. You'll be able to practice the priority of being divine. So now, just be at peace and enjoy this beautiful space of not wanting, not fearing, not judging, not blaming, allowing this moment. Just be allowing as I read this guided meditation. To cultivate joy in the course of your everyday living, often remember to practice patience, praise, gratitude, love, or any one of these depending on the situation. Knowing that joy accompanies an open-hearted awareness toward everyone you meet on your path through life. Patience, praise, gratitude, and love are the goals of your soul. To manifest these qualities in all circumstances unto all those you meet on the path through life is divine. Okay, Josh, we tried it. We tried it, Josh, and it just didn't work. This is an interesting situation. I'm going to fire Josh when this is over, but I can't do it in front of you. I have to live the truth on teaching. No, Josh, we tried. He's really up on this. This last minute thing, I'd asked him to put some music underneath the meditation, and really low and quiet. And he handed me a small iPod, and I forget what the title of it was, but I didn't know it was the ocean. I was looking for some music. Now we've got the ocean raging in on us. So we're gonna start over. All right? Take a couple of deep breaths and just become centered as I read this to you. Take this in. To cultivate joy in the course of your everyday living, often remember to practice patience, praise, gratitude, love, or any one of these depending on the situation. Knowing that joy accompanies an open-hearted awareness toward everyone you meet on your path through life. Patience, praise, gratitude, and love are the goals of your soul. To manifest these qualities in all circumstances unto all those you meet on the path through life is divine. Take this mantra to heart. Use this mantra throughout your day. I am alive in the service of the one in all, the all in one. Again, to cultivate joy in the course of your everyday living, often remember to practice patience, praise, gratitude, and love, or any one of these depending on the situation. Knowing that joy accompanies an open-hearted awareness toward everyone you meet on your path through life. Patience, praise, gratitude, and love are the goals of your soul. To manifest these qualities in all circumstances unto all those you meet on the path through life is divine. Now take this mantra and for a couple of minutes, just enter the present moment with it. I am alive in the service of the one in all, the all in one. I am alive in the service of the one in all, the all in one. As we go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space, let us go forth with a greater determination to be awake to the presence in every moment, under every condition. For this opportunity in every moment, we give thanks. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. As we're preparing to do this, I'd like to remind those of you online, you can, scroll down to the donate button, or you can look here. These are the different ways that you can donate to Unity of Boulder to keep this unique way of approaching the truth of life going and thriving. So, to all of you, let's just bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder, and let's bless it with this prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. Amen. Oh, you're back to sing. Let me get this out of your way. Huh?
Want to do it together?
Oh, yeah, well,
Okay.
let's take it over here. We're okay. That's good.
Okay.
All right.
As you hold or give your offering, I invite you to just hold your hands up and behold this miracle of this flesh, this God incarnate as you in your life. I was in a workshop yesterday with continuum movement, and the instructor said, the water in our bodies loves when we bring our consciousness to it. And so I invite you to just move your hands in this song in any way that just kind of opens you or that feels good, or maybe you just are lifting a little finger, But let it stir something in you that is of your wholeness. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to worry, 'cause worry is useless and wasteful in times like these. I won't remain useless, won't be idle with despair. I govern myself around my faith, for light is the darkest most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. And they're not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, it didn't steal your laughter. When heartache came to visit me, I knew it wasn't ever after. We will fight, not out of spite, but someone must stand up for what's right. 'Cause where there's a man who has no voice, there I shall go singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are am never broken. In the end, holy kindness matters. In the end, holy kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. And they're not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. And they're not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. We are never broken. We are God's hands. We are God's hands. We are God's heart. We are God's eyes. God's hands. We are God's heart. We are God's eyes. We are God's hands, we are God's heart.
Thank you, Marcy Baruch, sharing her beautiful music with us. Okay, we're going to have our closing benediction together. We're going to do Let There Be Peace on Earth. The other one.
I release and I let go, yes.
Okay.
And then peace on earth.
All right, then we're going to do. All right. All right. The Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. And let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes.
Peace on earth. This is the time to sing Peace on Earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
before we leave. I couldn't believe starting from hands, how much my hands were shaking. They were just uncontrollable.
Wow, and a song called Hands.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh,
Your
you're
hands
right.
are self-conscious. Hands.
I was trying to calm down.
I look at them